Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. So glad that you are here. Well, this episode, I am so pumped because I have a couple who was on an earlier episode coming back on, and we're getting an update from them. So if you've not checked out the financial coaching episode, make sure you go and do that because Lakeisha and Marvin did a coaching session with one of our preferred coaches, and their story is amazing. They're amazing, and I'm so excited to catch back up with them. So please welcome Lakeisha and Marvin. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so you guys went through the gauntlet and did a whole coaching session, and I just want to hear about it. How was it? Erica's amazing. I love her, and yes. I know she's walked through money and families and people's marriages for so long, and so I just want to know for you guys, did you enjoy it? What did you take away from it?
For me, it was awesome. Of course, I'm more of the analytical research, but just to actually have that person to help walk you through it, who didn't have the emotional impact in it. We have emotions when it talks about finances, but to have someone who didn't have the emotional tie to it to kind of allow us to focus on our goals and where we were trying to get to, that was a major help for us.
Yeah, and also I would say, just being able to be willing to go through whatever adjustments needed to be made. I mean, we're both nerds, but she's more of the nerd. And like I said in the last episode, if it's good for her mind, is it good for our marriage? That's not to say that I'm giving up, but I'm just like really thinking about what the goal is. And so I'm like, if the goal is getting out debt free, then it's okay for me to say, all right, it's fine for us to go in this direction right now so that we can let no one else.
That's right. No, that's such a great point, though, because number one, you have to be willing to change, right? I mean, through anything in life, if you want to grow, if you want to learn, and having someone who's done this for so long be able to come in and say, oh, yeah, here's what you need to do. So the willingness to change. But then just like you're saying, Marvin, yes, to have that goal and to say, okay, this is where we're going helps so much, right? Because if you're just like floundering through life, it's like, where are we going? We don't know what we're doing. So working together as a team and you guys doing it together, it's tremendous. And so what have conversations with money been like? So like, what were they like before you talked to Erica? What have they been like after?
Well, maybe we should do the before Erica, because the before Erica, it was a little contentious in that we both were previously married and we both became single again. So you become single again, you kind of develop your own way of doing things. And so I would say being married again and learning how to merge her mindset and my mindset. And then when we come up to those moments, it was just like, oh.
Yeah, we like to call them intense fellowships.
Yeah.
I love that. Winston and I call them relationship building opportunity moments.
Yes.
There's a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely. So we had moments where it was very tense. Of course, like Marvin said, I had my way of doing things that worked for me. He had his way of doing things that worked for him. And then, of course, bringing up history of our previous marriage or how it functioned then. And we had to realize, like, okay, that worked then and this is not working now. So how do we get on the same page? Mm-hmm. And so having Erica to give that sound advice and say, okay, how can we compromise in this so that, you both don't feel like you're having to give up everything, but you're actually working together as a team with a common goal. For me, being that nerd, once I have the budget laid out, I'm like, we're not changing it. No, this is the budget. I just need you to say yes, and we're moving forward. But she, had to let me know, okay, that's not how budget is done in a marriage. Then that means you're controlling the situation. So to kind of give me that different point of view helped me a lot to say, okay, this is not just about me, but my husband plays a major part in this budget.
Oh, and the good thing about that is I didn't have to be in the doghouse. I didn't have to be the person to give a thought or an opinion, and it's not so much my opinion. It's actually an expert saying, hey, this is kind of where you want to go. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, great. Well, she can be mad at her if she wants. I don't have to be the person being mad at. So it was good.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's such the key. That third party element, right, within a marriage is so helpful. Like the insight they see when you're like just down in the trenches day in and day out in marriage, and doing the money stuff, all of it, but like having that third person to look in and be like, oh yeah, I see this and this. And what's interesting, which I love, is that usually I feel like people, if they go into a session like this, the nerd is probably the one that's like, listen, free spirit, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to change a lot. But the nerd learned something too. See? She learned something new too.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Because I was like, okay, I got this. I know how this works. I know what the numbers are. Let me give it the facts. And I was like, wait a minute, this turned.
Yeah, money's never usually just about money. So that's
Absolutely.
great. Okay, and you guys, you have kids. I mean, the family's growing. How has that been? How has this whole journey been with your kids?
It's been different. We share with Erica. We both came from a family. Our parents were still together. And so now to be in a blended family, it was like, okay, how does this work? You know, we have a set of kids that are in Nashville, Tennessee, and then we have a set that lives with us. So it's like one set is leaving, one set is coming. And so that was a very different dynamic for me, because I'm like, okay, how do I not seem selfish? Because I'm only focusing on what's in front of me. And so it's like, okay, we have a blended family. And of course, research, there's no history or no stories like our story. And so I'm like, this gives us the opportunity to actually set those boundaries and kind of help people navigate from our experiences and from our lessons. So I think it's really helped us, you know, for what Erica was talking about. Okay, you can just have your budget where you have your family / travel, where you can do vacation, or whether it's traveling to see the kids that are out of state, and use that to kind of implement fun. So when you travel to see the boys out of state, you can implement fun even in those scenarios, so it feels like a vacation, whereas it's like I'm just spending money just for travel, and things of that nature. So that was very helpful.
Yeah, and I would just add that, communicating with them is key. The kids that are far, they don't necessarily see the day-to-day, so they may not quite know what's going on behind the scenes. With children in the home, they can kind of see, okay, we're eating differently. We're not going to be going crazy on getting a bunch of snacks. So those that are in the house, they'll adjust a little bit faster than the ones who are not. But communication is key, especially when my sons, get to come here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so great, because I do think so many people, when it comes to their money situation, whether it's a family dynamic, an income dynamic, because they have an irregular income, like whatever it is, a lot of people think, oh no, my situation is unique, so this isn't going to work. And you guys had a couple of obstacles, right, to overcome, and you're still doing it. Like, you're living proof that no matter the situation, you can still do this. Like, you can still win with money. You can still learn things about yourselves to help grow. And I think that's awesome. So with this coaching session, did you guys learn anything new about yourselves when it comes to money?
Like I said, I think one of the things I really learned is that I still wanted to have control. And it's not about control. It's about actually having a common goal and you're working together. Also, one of the things that really was an eye-opener for me when I actually was able to see an end goal. Eric was able to break down, based on these things, if you make these changes, you can be completely debt-free by X date. And of course, having, 6 figures in student loans, it's like I couldn't really see the end, even though I was striving to get there. But to say that I could potentially be debt-free with all of that, with my car notes, everything in 6 years, I was like, we got to do this. Like, we have to do this. I mean, we'll still have some kids still in school, so we can really enjoy life to the fullest and still be debt-free and travel and see the world once they're out of the home. So that was a big eye-opener for me.
I would say for me, just learning how to adjust and not getting too connected to the amounts. I mean, because you can look at the amount and be like, am I ever going to go and buy myself some ice cream when I want to? I mean, there are things that as a man you want to be able to do, and there are things that you want to be able to do for your wife, for your kids. Mm-hmm. And so when you're not quite able to do that, it can affect, the way you feel as a man. And so I had to just reaffirm myself, just know that we're on a team. Mm-hmm. We've decided to do this together, and tomorrow we'll live a different life. But right now, we have the life that we have.
Absolutely.
I love that, because that's just reaffirming again. I said it earlier, but it's just true. I'm like, there's so much more to money than just the numbers in the budget, right? I mean, like, Absolutely. You want to get that down, but the underneath stuff, whether it's either like how you grew up, your dynamics from your first marriage, man versus woman, free spirit versus nerd. I mean, there's so much under there that affects the budget, right? It affects the debt level. It affects so much of our lives. But getting down under that foundation is so, so important. And you guys did such an incredible job. And honestly, it takes a lot of humility to do something like this.
Yes.
For anyone to sit down with someone and say, hey, listen, I'm just gonna raise my hand. I kind of need help with this. Help me through it. Because there's some tension sometimes, but that growth that comes out of those kind of sessions is it's phenomenal. And again, you all are living proof. So I want to know, would you recommend someone to do some kind of coaching session like this?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
I would recommend every married couple, no matter, especially before you get married, but when you get married, every married couple, there is no way in the world that you are that strong or that knowledgeable. You're going to need some help along the way. Even if it's for the person to say you're doing good, keep going, or if it's let's tweak this, let's tweak that, and then kind of move forward, because the devil's in the details.
Yes. I completely agree with my husband. I mean, financial coaching is amazing. I mean, I never experienced it before, but to be in it, I'm like, wow, what took us so long to get to this point to really seek someone to talk and to help them navigate? Because we're able to even though we were already accelerating some budget, tools that we had already done, just even from this year alone, we probably have already paid off $20,000 on our own in 6 months. So now to have someone else, and now we have a 6-year deadline of 6 figures. Not, of course, that's not including our mortgage, but that's amazing to me, and that's something that we couldn't even see doing it on our own. We feel the same way about, even just therapy. So to me, financial coach is another form of therapy, but it's about your finances, which is the number one reason for divorce. So why not get someone to help walk you through that? That way you can avoid the being a part of the statistics.
If it's good for her mind, it's good for our marriage.
I love that. Oh, man, you guys, you're absolutely incredible. I mean, Lakeisha, Marvin, seriously, what an incredible job. Thank you for coming back on and sharing kind of where you're at, because I think you just give hope to so many people out there. And again, I think that was a great point too that you made of like, it's not just if you're just struggling, but if you're actually doing well and you're making progress, still go, because it just accelerates the journey when you have that third person talking into what's going on. So you guys are incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming on and sharing.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And for all you guys, if you want to check out a Ramsey Preferred Coach, make sure to click the link below. And remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.